Hello, it's Chad again for the 10th time. And this one will be the one that is part 2 of Schizoaffective Disorder. And this time I would like to talk about the importance of noticing your everyday symptoms and maybe how you could possibly deal with them. It's going to be an extra long episode because I figured that it's my 10th one, so I should probably do that. And to start, I'd like to say that the more you move confidently, the better off that you'll be, and the stronger that you'll get. And just staying positive and continuing forward is just very important, and what will really be a lot of steps to getting to where you need to be in your recovery. And just me personally, I wasted a lot of time of my life just either feeling sorry for myself or just thinking that I was stuck, when really there are a lot of things that we can actually do to get ourselves out of that. And we just have to find out what it is. We have to focus inwardly, and then we have to move forward confidently. We can do this. We all have the potential to do it. And I hope that I may possibly, like I keep saying this, I really do hope that this might help somebody. And in turn, it helps me. There's a lot of you out there who will be similar to me, and that we're pretty emphatic people. And like, just an example, when my girlfriend has some issues with being upset about things, I tend to feel a lot similarly, and sometimes it'll cause arguments because I'm not really upset. I'm upset because she's upset, and then it ends up going haywire. So you have to make sure that you're mindful of yourself, because sometimes we can let other people's issues become our own, and it doesn't really work for anyone. Not really. Being mindful of yourself can get you out of a lot of problems in the long run. And really, this could even help with PTSD type symptoms. There's so many different types of reasons for PTSD, and there's obviously different levels of it. I could never say that I have the same as, say, a military person, but my kindergarten experience was pretty brutal. My teacher pretty much beat me every day, locked me in a closet, and wouldn't let me out until the end. And I tried to not go to school, and I literally had to be dragged kicking and screaming to kindergarten, and I would run and hide behind the school. And I didn't realize how badly that had affected me mentally until I was in my 30s. And it's funny, like, you don't think that you think you'd be over things after 30 years of life, and or more even, but we don't always realize what the actual problem is. And that's one of the things that is what I mean by you need to stay mindful of yourself. You need to find out what it is that you need to do personally, because it's a very personal thing. It's like a diet. Like, people would think that a lot of diets are going to work for them. No, they don't. It's just like for our mental. We have things that we need on a per person basis. Like, I would need a very different thing than, say, you would. I don't know. Maybe you could get help from the same exact thing as me, or at least my hope is that you'll be able to see that, or see the mistake that I made, and maybe be able to realize, I won't do that, at least, and maybe I'll be able to help you. Maybe. That's the hope. But anyway, I like to try to keep this a little bit lighthearted, not get too down in the pit of muck and disgust, because it's never a good thing to try to help misery with misery. Misery loves company, but I want to sling some more happiness your way, and I want to try to make sure that things are more positive on the outlook instead of like, I'm always going to have to deal with this. It's always going to be in here. It's never going to go away. Well, yeah, but we can harness it, and we can hold it, and we can make it ours. It doesn't become us. We can make it become a workable part of our lives. If you're an artist, like, it's really great for that, because you will, at least in my experience and knowing people, have so much more of a different type of creativity, and you'll be able to do this. Just harness it the way that you know how to harness it. You're the only one that knows that. You have to find it. And I guarantee you that when you find that, you will be a lot better off. You will have a lot more inside of you giving you confidence. Like, this is the whole reason why I'm saying to walk with confidence. That's the main reason. Because if you're not going to be confident for yourself, who's going to be confident for you? Confidence is the kind of thing that you can't really make up. You have to find it in yourself. And it's not an easy thing to do. It takes searching inwardly, looking at your situations around you. Like, hey, I walked into this store and someone, I don't know, fell or something. What would you do? Would you normally just walk away because you don't want to get liable for it, or would you try to help them? I'm not trying to really pose a moral quandary here. I'm just trying to say that one thing may possibly get you a reward. It doesn't have to, but it'll at least make you feel good that you may have helped somebody, regardless of if they're like, no, get off of me. It's still the thought that counts. And regardless of what your faith is, being a better person will really make you feel better inside. And that's just the human condition. Regardless of whether you are an emphatic person or not. Just doing that doesn't happen as much anymore. I think that we need to bring it back, not just be Mr. PC bro or whatever, don't just go out of your way to be disgustingly sweet, because that doesn't work either. That can be worse, and people could think that you're patronizing them, and that could also be a very negative effect on you. And just, I guess the long story short of that, without rambling further on that particular point, is we can make a lot more of our reality. I used to hate the phrase, you got to make your own reality, but it's very true in a lot of circumstances, and especially involving your own mental health and emotions. That it's a very important thing, and like, just staying positive and trying to daily find the positive in the negatives might be cliche, but it's helped me tremendously, actually putting it into practice, because it's, again, like I've said in another video as well, just getting that repetition, getting that routine down is very good for our brains. Our brains need that structure, because when you're living with a mental illness, I guess that would be what I would say. It's the easiest way for me to describe it, is just saying that. Because it's a person-to-person thing. Let's just say living with emotional difficulties, I guess. But living with emotional difficulties, you tend to have more of a childlike approach to it, because your emotions are a lot less defined in a hardened way, like normal people have typically. And at least in my experience, it's very different to go through certain things with issues, especially something like PTSD. Some things you literally can't do. Either that or it's literal torture. Literal torture. And this society that we're living in, we have very horrible places for mentally ill, and it's not getting better. We just keep cutting funding from it, and it's insanity. I urge you, if you have money, I would suggest trying to, well, if you're going to donate anything, donate to some cause for mental health, because we need it badly. There's so many people who are going untreated, who are being treated like garbage human beings for having a mental illness, but they have nowhere to get help. They can't afford it, or the places that they can go to have people that only care about the money. They really don't care about the people at all. They're just a number. And it's insane, and nobody's ever going to actually get better that way. Not really. You're just a statistic, and it's insanity. I just don't understand it. But, you know, living in the system for a long time, you'll see that. Not everyone gets to see that, and no one wants to see it. People just want to shove it under a rug because, oh, if you're crazy, you should be put away on medication. That just seems to be the continual consensus. When you're being so PC about everything that you just completely negate an entire, basically, culture, because mentally our mentally health people, well, I have some actually, but anyway, uh, we can, we have a culture basically because what we are shoved into. We're shoved into these labels. We're forced to be using these labels even because they don't know what to do with us. What they need to do with us is actually help us get through our handicaps like they do, or they say they're trying to anyway, but that's the problem. This is an entirely other situation and another type of topic, but sorry for rambling a little bit there, but anyway, me dealing with schizoaffective disorder on a daily basis, pretty much it turns into insomnia at night, regardless of what I do. I can work my butt to the bone all day and then still not be able to go to sleep until like 4 in the morning. And then I'll sleep for however long I have until I have to go to work. 8 hours tops. That's one thing. That's another thing about having an issue like insomnia, is that I've spent my entire life being told by everybody that you sleep all the time. Oh, how can you sleep that long? I only slept for 4 hours. How is that sleeping long? I never understood it. Still don't. But some people just seem to think that if you stayed up until 4 o'clock, you're sleeping all day, which is not the truth at all, really. Not if you have insomnia, especially if you can't stay asleep either. But to prevent another ramble, let's move on. There's the insomnia, which is bad, which I don't think that everybody with schizoaffective disorder has it, but everyone that I've known with the illness does have a problem with sleeping. And whether it be the medication we're on or whatever, it's pretty terrible. And to try to get ready and stable into a normal job, and I'm going to do this a lot because it's better than trying to explain what I mean. It's being sarcastic, obviously. But anyway, just getting into normal society is a bit of a bugger. You have to get on a long-term plan of routine in order to get into that, at least in my opinion, from dealing with it myself. From going from basically wasting my life for 7 or 8 years of just sitting around feeling sorry for myself all the time and being on heavy medication, a lot of Seroquel. I was on about, 1,200 milligrams of Seroquel a day, and I was a zombie. All I did was sit around, and I ended up gaining a bunch of weight because of it. And I was miserable. I didn't want to live, and it was horrible. But, that's the thing. We have to pull ourselves out because nobody else is going to. But some of us can't. Some of us do not have the ability or the support around us to do it. Because some of us, including myself, have lashed out at people who were the best of us, who were the best people that we could possibly have in our lives, and we destroyed it because we hated ourselves. And it really makes me sad to the depths of my soul how much I think everybody that I've known that has had a serious issues has hurt people that they love. And I will forever be sorry for the things that I've done. And you have to also remember that the past is the past. And if you've done enough to give back, that you feel confidently enough without basically obsessing over it for years, because it's very unhealthy to get so obsessed with something that it becomes all of you, especially if it's a mistake. You do not want to destroy yourself because of a mistake, especially as long as you don't make the mistake again. I know there's different things and different situations are different, obviously, but in a general sense of stuff like, you know, telling someone to go F off or something and then pounding a door or something, that's is an easy example. Just realize that even if you scared somebody, that as long as they know who you really are, as long as you are an actual good person and you do the things to make sure that they know that you weren't having that type of attitude towards them, you were having an episode, not making it an excuse. I have to accentuate that with all I can. Do not make it an excuse. Do not make your illness an excuse, because it will rule your life and it will become you. You want to make that a part of you, who you are, in a positive manner. You don't want your illness to become your catalyst for misery, because if it will if you let it. It will completely take over your life and turn you into your worst hated thing. Believe me, it will. Don't let it get to that point. I urge anyone watching this that has issues to not let it get to that point. I hope that something that I've said today, with rambling and everything aside, I hope that something was helpful. I just wanted to make sure that I said something and went on for longer for my 10th video. And I hope you guys like this. Been having a lot of back issues. Got a little bit of time off of work right now, and I'm trying to actually find another one because I can't keep physically doing the one I have. But that's what I'm talking about. You guys take it all in stride. You have to make sure that you move forward confidently into the future. And I hope that you all have a great day. And if it's the weekend coming up for you, have a good weekend as you're watching this. And I will see you in the next video.